morning to you guys. Hope you're doing well. Here's the COT data video for the week beginning the 1st of May, and we're doing it just before the week begins, which is a good way to do it. And so this week coming, we've got ECB, we've got the Fed interest rate decision, and we've got NFP. So we've got a very busy week. So I think what we'll do is have some trade setups Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday is going to be quite tricky, and I think we'll just have to see how we go, play it by ear. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Thursday is going to be a bit of a nightmare. And Friday is going to be tricky because of NFP. So we'll try and get some trade setups Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, with any luck. But we'll see how we go. The Euro USD, the Euro FX against its USD. You can see how we had the buy. This would have been around parity around here, and it caught a lot of people out. And everyone was saying, you know, the euro's doomed and things like that, and of course we really surged, and now is the Euro USD buy, and it has been since. So we're seeing an increase of 164 to 169, just sideways on the USD. A slight increase, ever so slight, 200 contracts. Yeah, that's quite a bit more, isn't it? 164. 69, so 7,000 contracts. So definitely more bullish the euro than the USD. We are still positive on the USD, and I think what I have said 2 weeks ago, I think this is just going to just go sideways, which would be quite frustrating. So I don't know if we're going to go negative. We'll probably just go sideways for a while, and then the USD might just start ramping up a little bit, and then then we'll see some USD strength. Okay, so potentially that's a scenario which I think is going to happen. I can't see this going below zero, but it might do. But I think it's more likely going to go sideways, which would be quite frustrating. We can take, no, actually, we'll keep that on, put on the yen. Where are we? And okay, sideways, no, it's negative. So 56, 68. So that's quite bearish because we were at zero, and then we're further away from zero. We're more bearish than we were last week. It's probably worth bringing to attention the bubble on the yen as well. All right, so the yen is up here, so it's a strong sell. Okay, and the pound and the Swiss franc, the euro, Kiwi, and USD are buy because we're below 50%. They're really long. When I say they, the retail guys are really long yen. They're also long Aussie as well. Aussie is behind the yen there. Also the long CAD. Okay, so that's how the bubbles are situated. Now, if the yen bubble comes over here, that tells us that the herd are buying yen over time. They already are long, but they're going to add to that buy. So they add to that buy, so it's going to be bad because they'll get punished. Right? So we could see further upside in cross yen. Even despite Friday being an absolutely bonkers day, we can continue higher. It depends on what happens with this bubble. And what might happen is that the yen bubble is going to come over here, and it's probably going to have to liquidate some people and absorb all the liquidity. And this is the nasty stop zone, and this is the nasty stop zone. So pound comes over here, we'll probably be rinsing some stops out here, and then the pound will just reverse. And likewise the yen, if it comes over here, that will get punished and people have to get stopped out, and then we'll see a reversal. So that's a potential scenario. So be really careful with the yen. And they really like to be long yen. I'm not really sure why, but they are, and so that's what happens. So they're going to add. It's going to be a stronger sell. So let's go back. So that's quite bearish, and we're in conjunction of the retail sentiment that's quite bearish for the yen. So we've got to be careful. Alright, so you've got like the big fish sentiment, and you've got the retail sentiment, and they're both indicating yen weakness. So we'll take off the euro. We'll look at the oops, no, we'll take the euro off. We'll look at Aussie. And we're below zero. So we went from minus 42 to minus 39. So slight, increase there of bullish positions, but we are definitely firmly below zero. And it's almost as though we're a little bit range bound almost. We're in the descending channel, aren't we? You can see how we're making a W. So we can maybe do something like this potentially, but nothing really much to be said there. Not that bearish, because if we were really bearish, this would be ticking down. However, it's ticking up. Okay, so it's just a slight increase there of positions. Pound. Wow. Okay. Oh wow, that's interesting. I was saying, I was wondering about this, and we've overcome it. Right, so that's really interesting. So you can see how we made a head and shoulders, and then we really fell. And I was wondering whether or not this is going to be a good resistance, and we've overcome that resistance now. So we are now positive territory of 5,000 contracts. So we've come a long way off the lows, minus 803,000 contracts to plus. We're going to get a GU buy signal potentially on Friday, when the COT data is released. We might get an interchange of positions where we're going to see the big fish are going to be more long the pound compared to the USD. That's going to be quite bullish for the cable. All right, so we'll have to keep an eye on this next weekend, and that's going to be a GU long. Okay. Now the thing is, New Zealand dollar USD looked like it was going to cross, but then it didn't. It went nope, and then it got sold off quite suddenly. So pound might follow something that the Kiwi had done, and it might just like, well, we're not really gonna have an interchange here, and we're gonna change our minds, and then we might dump. So it might follow the Kiwi, but we'll have to wait and see. So that's very interesting. We've overcome that resistance, and CAD. We were in a big. We were falling quite heavily, and we are more positive than week prior. 43, 46, an additional 3,000 contracts. So if it carries on, it looks like it's going to struggle to get to the zero line, but it's going in the right direction at least. Whether or not this is going to be a dead cat bounce. Fortunately, the yen is slightly obscure in it, but you can see how CAD yen was a buy because they were more bullish on the CAD versus the yen, right? So CAD yen was a buy back there, and you would have done quite well since. Okay, so that's how you can use it. You're looking for crossovers really, and then gold, I guess, quickly. Okay, that's fine. 195, 189, 185. So it's slightly decreasing over time, and so that, isn't it? I guess so, we are definitely strong. We're well below, above the zero line, and just slightly more negative than 2 weeks prior. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. It might continue, or it might knee jerk. We've got a very important week this week with the Fed, and we'll get NFP as well. So it's going to be a big move for gold. So you've got to be careful. And we're currently sitting just shy of 2,000, if I remember. I was watching gold on Friday, so we're around the 2,000 figure, aren't we? So an important psychological round number. And VIX is being crushed as well, and yields are falling. So if the yields are falling, it's going to help push gold higher. The US yields, I mean. Let's take gold off. Look at Kiwi, and I'll show you what I mean. We had nearly had that interchange, but it was like, no, we're not going to interchange. We're just going to sell the Kiwi, and it has fallen since. It's kind of sideways, but that was the potential NU buy signal that we were going to get, but it invalidated because we didn't get the crossover. I think the pound might do something similar, where it's going to looks like it's going to cross, but they're like, nah, actually we changed our minds, and it's going to be like a ruse. So it could be quite naughty, the pound. And Swiss franc. We can also look at any other permutation and do sideways. So, for example, if you don't have this drop-down icon, your settings are too high on your Excel. You have to look at your macro settings, and that applies if you're on Mac, Excel for Mac as well, because if you're using the Mac version, I think by default you don't get the drop-down, so you'll need to change your settings. And I'm not familiar with the Mac version of Excel, so you'll have to figure it out. But you should have a drop down. If you've got the drop down, you can look at anything that you wanted to. This will look messy, but you can get an idea what's strongest. What you can see which one's strongest, right? Look at the euro, and you can see which one's the weakest. Yen. Okay, so use stuff like that. You can use. You can also zoom out a lot, change the time frame. You can also look at the comms, and you can look at the non-comms, like not net. And also you can look at the hedge funds as well. And Christian's done this delta thing for us as well, which is really cool. So it examines basically the change from the prior week, which is really cool. And just analysed that for us. So it gives us a high level overview. All right, so I'm going to wrap up now, and I wish you a great day. And I'll be back tomorrow with a reduced bulletin. It's not going to be like a heavy document tomorrow, and if any document at all, it might just be just analysis that I put into Discord. That might just be a good way to do it, and it will avoid duplication and reduce volume because no one's got time to watch or read a big document. Well, they can just simply go to the channel in Discord if they want to find out information about that particular thing. So that's what we'll do. And so it's a slight change of the bulletin every day. We're just going to have analysis in Discord, and it'll be an accompanying video, and we'll look at the indices as well, and anything of note like yen, for example. We can look at some yen crosses. So have a good day, and I'll speak to you guys soon.